Let's talk about the gorilla in the room, Donkey Kong. He's the leader of the bunch and you know him well, and he's received quite the redesign. While this new look for the first member of the DK crew technically began in November of 2022 with the second Super Mario Bros. Movie Direct, this revamp was solidified into the games through the Mario Kart footage in the Switch 2 reveal, and then officially with the full reveal of Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bananza. And with any design change, the responses generally fall into two categories. You either love it or you hate it. And the response I've seen so far on the internet has been pretty equal. So today I'll be going over the significance of the design itself and why I think it's actually pretty great. One of the main complaints I've been seeing about this new design is that he's too comedic, too goofy. It kinda makes sense when the first thing people are probably thinking of when they see this new design is the Seth Rogen portrayal in the 2023 movie. And I get it, we've gotten so used to DK having a sort of all serious no comedy expression, but DK's always been funny. This new Donkey Kong design we see is largely influenced by the original design of the character in his first appearance. It's important to remember that Donkey Kong was conceptualized from the start as a humorous or dumb antagonist. Comedy was super important to the development of the original 1981 arcade game. Now you may already know some of this, but I'm going to walk you through some of the origins of Donkey Kong. The name Donkey Kong has a little bit of an interesting comedy-related history behind it. The Kong part is self-explanatory, as it was generally understood to suggest gorilla. You know, like King Kong. Oh, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that. While donkey is meant to refer to the character's stubbornness or stupidity. A donkey can be called a jackass, which is also used as an insult when calling somebody stupid. Funnily enough, there were a multitude of other names Nintendo considered before landing on Donkey Kong. The original Donkey Kong arcade game was meant to be a licensed game featuring the animated character Popeye. Negotiations between Nintendo and King Features for the license fell through, and the Popeye characters had to be reworked into original characters. So Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oil became Jumpman, Donkey Kong, and Lady. Miyamoto was also inspired by the original story of Beauty and the Beast for the game, with a King Kong-inspired ape filling the role of the Beast. It was important that the bad guy also be humorous, nothing too evil or repulsive. The original arcade games, except for Donkey Kong 3, give DK some sort of friendly look or appeal. This is why he has that smile. He's supposed to be a humorous antagonist. Miyamoto also wanted the characters to be goofy and awkward, hence the reason for Jumpman, Mario, being an ordinary carpenter. He's not a typical hero, and he's taking on his pet gorilla who has kidnapped his girlfriend, Pauline. Another important detail here is that Donkey Kong never intends to hurt Pauline. He only steals her as an act of rebellion against Mario for mistreating him, and the dynamic between Pauline and Donkey Kong has even remained a staple throughout many of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games over the years. 1994 was the year that the familiar Donkey Kong design was established, Donkey Kong on the Game Boy giving him his iconic red tie, and Donkey Kong Country giving us the first 3D model featuring the design we've all known and loved for years. Kevin Bayless's 1994 redesign for Donkey Kong Country aimed to make him more dynamic in animations like chest pounding. The result was a more muscular, blocky gorilla with eyes inspired by Battletoads, though as Bayless himself noted recently, this made it hard for DK to be expressive beyond looking annoyed. Nintendo had a few alterations on the initial design, but left the specifics to Bayless and Rare. One such example is that Miyamoto wanted DK to be furry and have eyebrows. While the technology at the time didn't exactly allow for the fur he wanted, they compromised and made the area around his eyes black. This way they could reshape it and move it around and give him a little bit more expressiveness. And let's just get one thing straight. This redesign is not because Nintendo hates Rare or wants to pretend that this version of Donkey Kong never existed. The two companies literally collaborated closely to create this design, and there's no bad blood either. Bayless has actually praised the new design. It's just coming off as quite the jarring change. Think about it, Donkey Kong Country released on the SNES in 1994. That was when the character had only existed for 13 years and appeared in far less media than he has today. That means we've stuck with this modern Donkey Kong Country design for over 30 years at this point. It's natural to feel odd about the first major design change in a while, especially for such an iconic character. And that brings us to the design of today. Donkey Kong's appearance in Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bananza is basically brand new, with a lot of inspiration from the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie. The new look for DK combines elements of both the original arcade game and the Rare style.
We seized the opportunity to give him a comical personality and design reminiscent of the original character.
The new Donkey Kong features larger eyes, a rounder face, and lighter fur, giving him a more youthful and cartoonish look. But it's not like the Rare design didn't have any goof to it, it's just that the goofiness can be fully embraced and feel natural on the character with the changes. The bigger eyes allow him to be more expressive and convey his goofy personality more, just like how it was originally intended. Only now we have the more advanced technology to allow for it. I mean, it's not like the Bananza trailer is the first time we've seen his eyes literally pop out of his head. These changes make DK more expressive, and his proportions are now more in line with the rest of the cartoonish realism of the Mario cast. Donkey Kong and Super Mario have evolved into their own franchises over the years, but maybe this is part of the first few steps to bringing them back together. Not permanently, like we can still have Donkey Kong and his cast of characters on their own, but at least this is minimizing the divide between the two. It almost bears a closer resemblance to Donkey Kong Jr.'s design, which would be an interesting callback to our iteration of Donkey Kong being a grown-up version of Jr. and Cranky being the original. It's kind of a fun way of reintroducing that idea into the extremely loose narrative of the Mario universe. I think this new look would also be perfect for bringing out Donkey Kong's personality in animation, especially in Super Smash Bros. Where once DK was a hulking, stoic figure, now he has a goofy, more expressive design that would allow for more creative animations and unique moves that truly reflect his character's playful side. Hopefully we get to hear his voice come into the games too, and not just the realistic gorilla grunts. All in all, the Donkey Kong we've come to know and love is still instantly recognizable. I think these changes are all for the better. The posture, the fur, the personality, Donkey Kong hasn't gone anywhere. The new design is a thoughtful evolution of his history, combining the original humor intended by the arcade design, the iconic look created by Rare, and the expressive personality we've seen in the Mario movie. It's a design that calls back to the past while also creating a dynamic future, whether it's in video games, in movies, and so much more. Whether you prefer the older design or are excited for this new model, one thing's for sure, we're entering a new era for the King of Swing. I can't wait to see how he'll evolve in future games, but what do you think about the redesign? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.